Okay, George Kittle said that this team has to be offensively led, and it will be. They'll put up plenty of points because why? We got Ricky coming back. We got Purdy coming back. We got Aiyuk coming back. Ayuk's not coming back. So can this offense continue to do what the expectation is from George Kittle himself to overcome this defense week in and week out? Now that Brandon Aiyuk is not going to be a part of this thing. And Ricky Pearsall, and if that is the case, then is Ricky Pearsall the answer, or who is the answer?
It is interesting, right? Because it was just 2 weeks. I guess George didn't get the memo because it was just 2 weeks ago after the Rams game where he was like, I really think Brandon's coming back. It's like, hey, man, maybe you should talk to your coach because he doesn't seem like he is. Yeah.
For the guy that acts like the GM of the team when he was up there, you'd think he would know that, huh?
I never really thought that Aiyuk would make an impact this year because it's like I never thought he was at. I know there's a debate about how good he was in those 7 games last year, but he didn't seem like himself. I think that's fair to say. He wasn't quite what he had been, and I think he had a good game against the Cardinals. But when you miss all of training camp, it's hard to just hit the ground running, and
For sure.
that was going to be like that this year too. No training camp, no preseason, plus it's still pretty fresh coming off this injury. I didn't think he was going to put him over the top. Kittle did. So this doesn't really change my expectations. I always thought that was a fantasy. I don't know. Maybe it changed the team's expectations.
Yeah, I think just BA being on the field, though, right? Like, even for a game or two, I'll give you an example. Last year, Christian McCaffrey clearly was not himself. But I'll tell you what, game 1 against Tampa absolutely game planned as if Christian McCaffrey was still that dude because they had no idea what to expect.
Last week, like him,
they game planned.
And that's what I wanted to say. Okay, here's my question about Pearsall.
Yeah.
So I asked about Ricky. So he goes down week 4. Purdy goes down week 4. And it like Pearsall's recovery is strange because he's not even practicing at all. Brock's limited. Pearsall's not. He's on the side. He's running sprints, but he can't even practice in a limited fashion. And then in the locker room, he's shooting jumpers, and I mentioned that. After I mentioned that to Kyle, he got all upset about it, brought it up yesterday or the day before. Pearsall comes back the next week, practices, plays, but he doesn't get the ball. What's more likely? He'd been ready and they've been holding him, or they rushed him back out before he was 100% healthy because Brock came back. And they felt suddenly, it'd be nice to just have his presence on the field. Come on, a good clear out route.
What I think is more likely is that he had been ready and they held him, but I don't think it was like a long-term been ready. I think he had been ready like Purdy had been ready, which was they both could have played against the Rams and neither did, is the way that I view it. They just wanted one more week to be precautionary because, well, one, they already had egg on their face the way they handled the Purdy situation the first time around. So it's like, we feel like we're good, but we know we'll be good if we just give it one more week. So we'll just rest him one more week. And then Ricky, he has been banged up. It's actually, I'm going to bring this up because it was brought up on Twitter and I kind of want to defend the point because I think people will still somehow misremember how Ricky Pearsall's career has gone thus far because he was shot and that kind of overshadows things. I talked about how Ricky Pearsall he hasn't been able to stay healthy. I didn't use the word injury prone. I just said he hasn't been able to stay healthy. Stats pushed back against that and was like, he's only had one football injury that has kept him off the field. I said, not really true, because when you look at year 1, OTAs and training camp, he had the shoulder subluxation, he had hamstring issues. This year during training camp and OTAs, he had hamstring issues.
Yep.
So yes, he's only had one football injury technically that's kept him out of games, but he's had multiple football injuries that have kept him out of practice during the offseason. It's just about timing. He hasn't been healthy. He hasn't.
And they've all been soft tissue injuries.
Yes.
Either muscle or tendon.
Yep.
It's not great. It's not great.
So I mean, I don't know. When you look at I had to bring that up because
I think he's a hell of a player.
Been injured. He's been injured.
Yeah. I've called him the white Odell Beckham Jr. I think he's got a lot of speed and explosiveness, and I think he can create separation, but he gives you nothing in the red zone. As a deep threat, he's not running a 4-3. And it does seem like, and I'm not even talking about like, you could say his body doesn't hold up to the contact in the NFL. That doesn't even seem to be the issue. It doesn't seem to be the issue at all. Like he has soft tissue injuries that prevent him from being available week in and week out for practices and stuff. But when he is healthy, I mean, he's a nice wide receiver too, but he's not available enough to be a wide receiver one, durable enough to be a wide receiver one. And really, I mean, he might be more of a wide receiver 3 if you're only going to get him every other week or what I don't know, when he's 100% healthy.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's debatable on whether he'll ever be a 1,000-yard receiver in this league. And for a guy who's a first-round pick, you kind of need to be that. He's not going to get 1,000 yards this year unless he goes on an absolute tear down the stretch. He didn't get 1,000 yards last year because he's missing games, for different reasons, obviously. But your original point was what was more likely because of those injuries that we talk about that have been there, not just in the season, during the offseason and what have you. It does seem more likely that he was healthy enough to play against the Rams, and they just said, it's one more week. Let's just give it one more week.
I mean, I understand like he can normally run 20 miles an hour plus no problem. And if Kyle said he was having discomfort at 18, I 100% believe him, but that doesn't mean he can't play. Sure. I mean, Ricky Pearsall running 18 miles an hour is still going to threaten defenses more than Demarcus Robinson doing whatever he does. He just does. So I just think it's interesting that all of a sudden Brock comes back, Ricky comes back. Brock went down, Ricky was out. And he didn't get the ball, but still he had an impact on the offense.
So you're telling me that in a 4-day time span, he was able to gain 2 miles per hour and do so without pain? That doesn't make any sense.
And it was 6 weeks where he made no real like material improvement. And all of a sudden, oh, boom, he's back. I just think it's strange. And I really want to give myself the hat tip here for mentioning the jumpers, because all of a sudden he was back after that. You think Kyle brought in Ricky and was like, why did you shoot a jumper in front of Grant? Why did you do that?
Shoot the J. Shoot it.
The J.